Okay, can everybody see my screen?
I see a house.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you all for coming. Hi, hi everyone, and thank you, Angie, for doing this. So, all you.
You got it. So thanks for tuning in. So today we're going to talk about virtual tours. So if you missed our webinar last week, we kind of talked about the 101s of filming. So how, what equipment you need, like kind of how to put a script together, some apps, lighting, editing, and basic stuff like that. If you would like, I can send you a link for that so you can re-watch it. So just let me know and I can send that over to you. But today we're really going to focus on like virtual tours and more like walkthrough tours of homes. So the first thing we're going to do is kind of do a bit of a recap. I'm planning the video, more specifically planning a video for a walkthrough, production day, a little bit on post-processing, and then we're going to spend most of the time looking at virtual tours that I've found online and kind of breaking down how to do it. And what they kind of do. So I've got some really high-end ones and I've got some lower-end ones so we can kind of see how it does. And it really just depends on the personality and the home and what features there are in the home. So how do I start? You know, it feels like a really big, daunting task to get going. What I do with any sort of tasks like this would be to make lists. So think about every feature aspect of the home that you could potentially use and write and talk about. So it could be the history of the area, it could be about the neighborhood, it could be, you know, how it is commuting to larger cities, nearby attractions. So just think of absolutely everything and I would put it down on paper. I would start with that. So then you kind of have something to go with. Then next, make a thesis or kind of take a look at it and see what you have the most meat of that you can make a video of, or the things that are most exciting that for you that you want to make a video of. So you kind of organize it, and from there you can make like a one-sentence thesis phrase, just kind of like a what's the main purpose of your video. And it could be something like featuring the detailed finishes of the home, you know, showing where it is in the neighborhood, you know, if you really want to focus that it's a convenient commute, and any of those things will work. And again, it's all variable on the home. So really finding what's kind of the main thing you want to focus on. And then structuring. So in the last video, we talked about how to structure a video. And really it kind of boils down into 5 different things. So you have the hook, what the video is about, the introduction, so it'd be about you and your company, and then the content would be like the actual walkthrough, the actual what you're going to be explaining or talking about. And a bonus is kind of stuff that you can sprinkle in amongst the video, get a little bit of interest. It could be something simple as like little tidbit about the market right now. It could be something about the neighborhood, something about this special feature. So you can really be creative about that. And then of course you always want to end with a call to action or a call to engage. So it gets the viewer to want to either contact you, write a comment, click on a website, view more of a tour. So suggesting on what you want them to do next. So then that's kind of, now you have kind of a high level view of what you want to do for your video, right? So then, okay, so then I would list what kind of shots you need to have in order to make it. So for example, if I'm doing a walkthrough tour and it's a big, great room, I definitely need to make sure that I, you know, feature that. If it's a place that has a lot of windows and has a really good view, you want to make sure that, you know, you must have those because that's what you want to focus on in the video. Also things that you want to mention like faucets, countertops, light fixtures, any little details that can help enhance the video. And then list all the B-roll shots. So B-roll is any sort of extra or non-primary roll and content for a video, hence B-roll. So it can be stuff that you can put in on top of while you're talking. It can be close-ups of things. It can also be transitions. So like going up and down stairs, opening and closing doors. This is also why it's very important, especially now, to do like a drone photo shoot and do like the Matterport videos, because this gives you not only the viewer more information about the home, but it gives you more content to work with in general when you are advertising the home. So yes, it does help, with the MLS and doing, interactive videos with Matterport, but it also gives you more content so you can really showcase it more at the next level too. And then finally, of course, write the script. Include descriptions of features that you want to take. So if it's a special brand of appliances, if there's special call to actions or special like bonus tidbits that you want to add. When you're in the script phase, it's really nice. Then you can kind of sprinkle it in. Then you don't feel like you're doing as much of a sales pitch, because it's kind of sprinkled in. It's not, okay, well, here's where I have to, get them to do all this stuff right away, or feel it. So that gives you the time to kind of sprinkle it in and have some breathing room in between. And then we go into production day. So the day before production day, or before production day in general, like I mentioned in the last video, definitely practice your script, practice speaking out loud with other people if you can. And what that will do is help fix any strange pauses, awkward moments. You can also revise the script by then. If you don't want to do a full out written script, bullet points totally work too. There's no rhyme or reason as to what works. You just got to find what works best for you. So practice elaborating on the bullet points that you have within your script. But the key is to really practice. And also the day before, make sure you gather your equipment and charge everything. It's very, very important that you charge everything, because you would hate to be there, have everything ready, and then your camera's dead, or your microphone doesn't work, or you have to wait 3 hours to charge something. So just make sure you do everything the night before. You'll save yourself a load of headaches later. Other equipment to grab, tripod. If it's not fully staged, maybe some props or things that you can put in there to make it feel a little bit more staged. And also think of your outfit, what you want to wear when you're visible with these videos. I would suggest keeping it very much like what you would going to a regular tour with a client, whatever that would be. I know you see a lot of people with like suits and ties. If that's what you do, that's great. If you are more casual, that's great too. I would just go with what you would do if you were to go to meet a client and go show them houses, whatever attire that would be. But plan it out the day before. Do something neutral, so really you're focusing on the environment that you're in, and they're not focusing on like your bright floral blouse or something like that. So, and then we're on to game day. So that's when we're shooting and filming everything. So just a couple things to think of before you even start filming is to turn on all of the lights in the home. We talked about lighting in the last video and how that really brings some light, some brightness into the home. Turn on TVs, ceiling fans, if you have candles, sorry, and stuff like that. That would really help. Faucets before and filming that room, if it's in a bathroom or something like that. It just adds a little bit of movement, a little bit of excitement to the video. So I have an example right here I want to show. Oopsie, hang on. Okay, so with that video you saw, they definitely had all of the fireplaces on. They had the ceiling fans on and they were on low. This is a place in Malibu, I think. So they had all of the windows open, all of the doors were open. So it felt like very open, very airy. So those are all the types of things that you can do before you even start filming. Also, if you can see, even with this shot that I paused on here. Here we go, cool, laser pointer. They've got, you know, these lights on over here. They've got the ceiling lights on here. They've even got this door open and the lights on in the hallway here. So those little details are things that you can think of before even opening a camera. And then of course, patience. It's a lot, so just take your time, you know, and in general, slow movements work best if you're trying to do tilts and pans and trying to do some fancy video stuff. Just, you know, make sure you're slow and take a breath, and, you know, really the slower is the better with video, which is interesting because it feels like it's always very fast paced, but when you're actually filming, you need to be quite slow. And also make sure all of your tech is connected and working properly. You'd hate to go halfway through a day and then realize that your mic hasn't been turned on half the time. So little details like that, just to make sure you got everything set up and squared to go, even before you even start filming. And like I mentioned last week, personally, what I like to do is I like to get a rough cut out of the system. So just go through the script. If you're doing a walkthrough of the house, do a physical walkthrough of the house, get all the ums and uhs and oh craps and awkward sentences and pauses, just get it out of your system. And then you kind of know what to look for, you know where things are, know where you're kind of jumbling, and then go back and then you can do the regular shoots. Again, shoot in sections and then take a pause after a mistake before you start again. And what that does is that it allows you to actually find the good cut when you're editing. So it's easier for you to find it and kind of splice stuff together. And then also don't forget to gather additional footage. So stuff around the home, we've talked about details, but also around the neighborhood. It could be the sidewalk, the driveway, you know, trees in the yard, any other little details, again, B-roll that can help to kind of fill some of the area. And then finally, I just wanted to mention to you guys quickly about uploading videos once you have things done. So I would highly suggest that you guys have, which I think most of you guys probably have a Gmail account, so you probably have a Google Drive. OneBox, Dropbox, all of these cloud softwares would be the easiest for you to upload directly from your phone to the cloud without losing any quality. The next best would be kind of the old school way, going from a USB from your phone to your laptop or computer and just doing a manual import that way. You can also edit on your phone. There's a lot of apps out there where you can edit directly onto your phone and create the video just on your phone. I have a few here, KineMaster, I think I spelled that wrong, InShot and VLLO. Those are some apps that I talked about last week. But to keep good quality, you do not want to email from your phone. You also don't want to text message through your phone because what it does is it compresses the video so it's easy to send. But if you go back to try and edit it and try and do stuff with it, it's going to be really low quality. And then when you try and upload it to YouTube or Facebook, in the end, it's not going to look as good as it could be. And just quick about editing. So follow your thesis and your script. That's why, you know, I've been stressing to really put a game plan down of what you're doing before you start filming, before you start talking, and keep it simple. Really just keep it simple. You don't need to do cuts, crazy transitions, and things like that. The simpler is the better. Then it focuses on what's on the screen versus random things moving. And also another tip is to edit to music. It just makes things feel a little bit more rhythmic, and it feels like it's got more purpose to things. If you use that music or not, that's, you know, depending on you. But I would suggest kind of editing to music once you get that way too. So now we're going to transition quick into looking at virtual tours. So this is a virtual tour of a penthouse in New York City. And what I really like about this video, and we'll break it down smaller, but he does a lot of really good points about adding in details about the house throughout the whole walkthrough, adding his personality, and then you can also really see that his focus is the view. The main thing that he's really trying to sell outside of this beautiful home is that you have this gorgeous Central Park view. So let's take a look at the whole thing. Hopefully it will work. It worked before. Oh, there it goes. There it goes.
Welcome to Penthouse 16 at 230 Central Park South. Today we have a very, very special apartment to walk you through. A 4-bedroom, 5-bathroom duplex home with almost 100 feet of Central Park frontage. And before we get to anything, before I show you anything else, honestly, let's just go right to the park because I know you want to see it. This is what it's all about. Now that's it. Is Central Park. That's actually one of the best views that you can possibly get of Central Park. Right now, we are 160 feet off Central Park South, looking directly over the park. If you open the windows, you can smell the leaves changing. I'm not kidding. It is that incredible. But there's more to this apartment than just the park. Obviously, you have almost 100 feet of frontage here, but you also have this incredible living room. Once you walk in, you step over the tiger-eye mosaic marble. You come in here, you've got these beautiful washed chevron floors, these gorgeous coffered ceilings, this incredible white marble mantle, and you're reminded that this is the definition of luxury. This apartment is 4,500 square feet, and this living room alone is 37 feet long with windows on Central Park. So follow me, and we'll go into the library. Right off the living room and connected to the dining room is your library with full bar, access to private storage and closet space, also right on the park. Now, the whole apartment was meticulously renovated and restored in a Ruhlman-style mansion in the sky. And this room specifically has Anna Gray wood paneling all over to give you that real rich, calming, zen luxury feeling. You also have black and gold marble across the entire countertops for the bar, and you have a black and gold marble mantle in the only wood-burning fireplace in the entire building. The separate dining room kind of gives new definition to attention to detail. For one, you have these beautiful cloth walls all the way throughout. You've got pocket doors that completely close it off from the library and from the kitchen area over here. And then if you notice, you've got these really, really cool coffered ceilings. And then you've got these paneled wood floors. The paneled wood floors and the coffered ceilings match identically. That rectangle is perfect to that rectangle. This square is perfect to that square. It's completely crazy. And then off the back end here of this 23-foot long room, you have a little balcony, nice planting terrace looking south and getting all of that natural light. So you can sit here, look out over the city, and then look back at Central Park. I mean, that view is just, I could just stay here for a while. but I can't. I got to keep showing you this apartment. So follow me to the kitchen. The eat-in kitchen is huge with 4 separate windows, 2 sinks, wall-to-wall marble, a separate banquette area so you can actually sit here and have breakfast without having to go to the dining room. You've got surround sound speakers so you can listen to whatever you want to listen to while you're sitting here and making your banana strawberry smoothie. You've got high-end Viking Sub-Zero appliances. And then again, like this attention to detail. We just talked about the dining room and how the ceilings match the floor. If you're catering and you're having a party, you've got this little tray that again, perfectly, each level matches the ceiling, which matches the floor. So if you're bringing in some appetizers or some drinks, all of the details completely match. It's that small little attention to detail that honestly makes this apartment so incredible for me. So that's the majority of the lower level. Now let's go upstairs and see the bedrooms. Go upstairs. The second floor has all the bedrooms. And right off the staircase, you have these 2 double glass doors that open up into this magnificent, massive master suite. Again, beautiful detailing. I love this desk. Just take a look at this desk in your master. You're sitting here, you're writing down notes, thoughts for the day, and you're looking at Central Park as the leaves change. It is a crazy, crazy view. It is pretty incredible. And then the bedroom is here. You wake up, you look over, you've got view of the park, tons of storage space, and then check out this bathroom. So this has to be the master suite to end all master suites. I mean, look at this tub and look at that view. I don't know a better view when you're soaking in a bubble bath in my life. This is pretty incredible. And one of the final bedrooms is a treat. This is unlike any other guest bedroom you've ever seen, decorated and outfitted to be on the Normandy. So you feel kind of like you're on a boat. It's got obviously a flare of red, which I think is really, really fun. It's got a black subway tile and black and gold marble bathroom en suite. And it's got tons of storage as well. So you've got storage, storage, storage in every little panel. What's also nice is that this bedroom has its own separate access to the main hallway on this upper floor. So you don't have to have guests come through your front door downstairs, especially if they just want to come in and go to sleep and it's late at night. But you might wonder, where's the door? Where's the door? Oh, wait, right there. You've got separate access out to the hallway here, and you also have a whole separate laundry room in here, again, with black and gold marble. So that's it. Penthouse 16 at 230 Central Park South. Now on the market for $17,950,000. This condo-like co-op could be yours. And this view too, because oh my God.
Okay. So that was the first video that in its entirety. So now we're gonna kind of take it down and split it up into sections, and we're gonna kind of talk about each little section. So we've got the intro, right? Okay, so that was the intro, and that's, oops, sorry. And that's just mostly B-roll footage, right? It's featuring the neighborhood, which is also the main thing that they're talking about in the movie, which is the view of Central Park. So in the very beginning, you can kind of, it intrigues you of like, well, okay, well, this looks really cool. It's Central Park, what's going on? And you can also notice that there's like slow moving video. It does kind of speed up and slow down with the music. Which gives it a nice little taste. But really the good takeaway that I would get from this beginning right here is that it's featuring the neighborhood. It's kind of giving you a kind of bird's eye view of where you are. So we could do something, say for example, you're selling a home on Mercer Island, and we can have, you know, an aerial shot of the island zooming in, down, or different areas of the park, or, you know, we can even take clips of our community video that John L. Scott has put together. So there's a lot of options we can do to kind of give a similar feel without having to do a entire professional quality. But really the main feature is like, here's some extra footage of the neighborhood. So say, for example, you're doing a condo or something, you can get some shots of the main lobby and some of the community features, you know, what's nearby in the neighborhood. So there's definitely a lot of options for that as well. It's just depending on what you, you know, what's best featured for your house. And then the next section.
Welcome to Penthouse 16 at 230 Central Park South. Today we have a very, very special apartment to walk you through. A 4-bedroom, 5-bathroom duplex home with almost 100 feet of Central Park frontage.
Okay, so this was the introduction, right, that we've talked about. So, you know, the hook in the beginning is kind of the location. Here's the intro, here's where we're at. I love that what he does is, you know, welcome to Penthouse 16. It's, you know, welcoming you to the area. And then he also tells you what he's going to do in the video today. You know, today I'm going to walk you through this, you know, this penthouse and show you all this stuff. He does a brief description of the home, as you can see, where there's text across the bottom, where it's the bedroom, bathroom, square footage, and it's also really nice where they do it while he's talking, so it just adds a little bit more sophistication to it. And all of these zooms that you see, all of these zooms that you see, like this right here and like this zooming out, those are done with video, but you can also do the same effect with photos. So if you have high resolution photos of nice features, you can zoom in on it, and then with the video we can zoom it out. So you don't always have to create video. We can always work with what you have too. And then they also do a really great job of very easy but simple and clean, you know, here's the address right at the bottom here. So I think this is a fantastic little intro, and it's super easy. He's just standing at the doorstep, right? And then these are all extra cuts, could be photos, could be videos that you do as well. Next one.
And before we get to anything, before I show you anything else, honestly, let's just go right to the park because I know you want to see it. This is what it's all about. Now that is Central Park. And it's actually one of the best views that you can possibly get of Central Park. Right now, we are 160 feet off Central Park South, looking directly over the park. If you open the windows, you can smell the leaves changing. I'm not kidding. It is that.
Okay, so, you know, his bonus feature, again, like we talked about, his main thesis was to focus on the view. So he's like, you know what, let's go right into it and let's look at the view. What I absolutely love about what he does with this video is that you can see him walking and then you can see him sitting down. So you actually feel like you are in there with him, and you're actually, like, he's actually talking to you because he's doing these natural movements that you almost would do if you were person to person. And those also make really easy transitions, which you will also see as we kind of continue breaking down this video, going from room to room. So say you start walking in one direction and then you go into the next thing, or you sit down and talk about something and then you stand up and go into the next room. It makes it really easy for the viewer to be like, okay, we're done with this room, or we're done with this topic and we're moving on to something else.
And before we get to any, but there's, and we'll go into the library. Right off the living room and connected.
Oh, did we skip one? Hang on.
But there's more to this apartment than just the park. Obviously, you have almost 100 feet of frontage here, but you also have this incredible living room. Once you walk in, you step over the tiger eye mosaic marble. You come in here, you've got these beautiful washed chevron floors, these gorgeous coffered ceilings, this incredible white marble mantle, and you're reminded that this is the definition of luxury. This apartment is 4,500 square feet, and this living room alone is 37 feet long with windows, windows, windows on Central Park. So follow me, and we'll go into the library.
Okay, so I think he does a great job of finding ways to bring in details about this place. So of course we were talking about the view, and he's like, there's way more to this home. And instead of just talking about it, he goes, this is the entry, right? When you first step in, trying to get me to paint a picture, right? So when you first step in, you see, not just this, mosaic floor, tiger eye mosaic flooring with these, chevron floors and marble mantles and like all these little things that you wouldn't know if you were just looking at photos or even just looking at the video itself. So those, I think, if you're thinking about descriptions of what to add and, how do I describe this? I would ask myself is like, what's cool about this room that's not showing up in a photo, or that, a hidden feature that you don't really see when you just look at it or you take a photo. And again, fantastic transition. This is a great room, 37 feet with windows, windows, windows. Follow me, let's go into the next room. And as he physically turns and points to the next room and walks that way. Easy transition, we know exactly what we're going, and we know exactly we're going to something else. I also want to point out with this transition here, you see all of these lights that are on in the background? And that's what gives, the home feel a lot brighter, a lot more inviting as you're filming. So make sure you have any sort of little lights that are available. Have those on, windows open if you can. It makes the video look that much more exciting.
Now we'll go into the library. Right off the living room and connected to the dining room is your library with full bar, access to private storage and closet space, also right on the park. Now the whole apartment was meticulously renovated and restored in a Pullman-style mansion in the sky. And this room specifically has anti-gray wood paneling all over to give you that real rich, calming Zen luxury feeling. You also have black and gold marble across the entire countertops for the bar, and you have a black and gold marble mantle in the only wood-burning fireplace in the entire building.
So again, he's doing a really good job adding descriptive words, right? So, the things that you wouldn't know about the apartment in general, like that it was meticulously renovated, trying to get you to feel like you're in the space, it's a mansion in the sky, it's a rich, calming, Zen luxury feeling, engraved wood paneling, and then features that you wouldn't know, unless somebody like a realtor was there telling you it's the only wood burning fireplace in the building. Nobody would know that just looking at a photo or looking at a video. So those little details I think are really, really important to try and add into the walkthrough, because it adds that bonus material that you can't just get anywhere else.
Now we'll go into the library.
Okay.
The separate dining room kind of gives new definition to attention to detail. For one, you have these beautiful cloth walls all the way throughout. You've got pocket doors that completely close it off from the library and from the kitchen area over here. And then if you notice, you've got these really, really cool ceilings. And then you've got these paneled wood floors. The paneled wood floors and the coffered ceilings match identically. That rectangle is perfect to that rectangle. This square is perfect to that square. It's completely crazy. And then off the back end here of this 23-foot long room, you have a little balcony, nice planting terrace looking south and getting all of that natural light. So you can sit here, look out over the city, and then look back at Central Park. I mean, that view is just, I could just stay here for a while, but I can't. I got to keep showing you this apartment. So follow me to the kitchen.
Okay, so again, description, you know, things you wouldn't know by just looking at the space. There's pocket doors, you know, the ceiling matches the floor. You wouldn't necessarily know that that balcony is a south-facing balcony. So like little details like that really help paint a picture in the viewer of what's going on. And again, it's his bonus, his main thesis, right, is that view. So what does he do? He pauses on that view and is like, oh, I could stare at that forever. And then great transition, you know, follow me, let's go into the kitchen. It really makes you feel like, you know, you're with that person. And I feel like the more personal you can make them, the better.
Follow me to the kitchen. The eat-in kitchen is huge, with 4 separate windows, 2 sinks, wall-to-wall marble, a separate banquette area so you can actually sit here and have breakfast without having to go to the dining room. You've got surround sound speakers so you can listen to whatever you want to listen to while you're sitting here and making your banana strawberry smoothie. You've got high-end Viking Sub-Zero appliances. And then again, like this attention to detail. We just talked about the dining room and how the ceilings match the floor. If you're catering and you're having a party, you've got this little tray that, again, perfectly, each level matches the ceiling, which matches the floor. So if you're bringing in some appetizers or some drinks, all the details completely match. It's that small little attention to detail that honestly makes this apartment so incredible for me. So that's the majority of the lower level. Now let's go upstairs and see the bedroom.
Okay, so a little bit repetitive as well, but again, keep an eye on those descriptive words. And again, things that you wouldn't necessarily know just looking at the room. You wouldn't know that it has surround sound in there, that it's got 2 sinks. And of course, he paints a picture of trying to get you to picture yourself in that space. So in the morning you wake up and you have your, you know, banana strawberry smoothie. You don't have to go to the dining room. You can actually just sit here. Thinking of ways where you can paint a picture about how people could live in that space will help them envision themselves in that space. And I think towards the end, he does a really good job that makes it feel very organic, where he's like, honestly, this is why I think this house is so great and spectacular, is with all these little details. You can tell that's, you know, quote unquote off script, and you can feel that that's organic, and those little tidbits like that are, I think, are really nice. So again, I stress the script, but there's also little things like that where it just makes you feel human, and it makes you feel it really personally excited about it. And then of course, end of the lower level tour, let's go upstairs. Great transition. And then they've also got a good transition of him walking up the stairs too.
Follow me to the kitchen. The eat-in kitchen. Upstairs and see the bedrooms. Then we go upstairs. The second floor has all the bedrooms. And right off the staircase, you have these 2 double glass doors that open up into this magnificent, massive master suite. Again, beautiful detailing. I love this desk. Let's take a look at this desk in your master. You're sitting here, you're writing down notes, thoughts for the day, and you're looking at Central Park as the leaves change. It is a crazy, crazy view. It is pretty incredible. And then the bedroom is here. You wake up, you look over, you've got your view of the park, tons of storage space, and then check out.
Okay, so then also similarly, trying to paint a picture of, you know, imagine yourself waking up and sitting at this study and writing your thoughts down. And so again, finding ways where you can get them to think about how they would feel living in there, in that space, makes it feel like you are, what am I going to say? It makes it feel like you can imagine yourself in that space. And also I want to mention too, like he could mention a lot more features, but you know, he just talks about that one. And he goes into little details about that one. So that's definitely fine too. Where, for example, in the kitchen that we saw previously, he talked about, you know, the appliances and the surround sound and you know, a couple other features, double sinks and like all that stuff. Where here, he just talked about the study and spent some time talking about that study too.
Stairs and see the bedrooms.
Hang on.
And then check out this bathroom. So this has to be the master suite to end all master.
Oops,
And then check out this bathroom.
sorry about that.
So this has to be the master suite to end all master suites. I mean, look at this tub and look at that view. I don't know a better view when you're soaking in a bubble bath in my life. This is pretty incredible.
Yeah. So again, talking about his main thesis is the view, bringing back the view.
And one of the final bedrooms is a treat. This is unlike any other guest bedroom you've ever seen, decorated and outfitted to be on the Normandy. So you feel kind of like you're on a boat. It's got obviously a flare of red, which I think is really, really fun. It's got a black sub-white tile and black and gold marble bathroom en suite. And it's got tons of storage as well. So you've got storage in every little panel. What's also nice is that this bedroom has its own separate access to the main hallway on this upper floor. So you don't have to have guests come through your front door downstairs, especially if they just want to come in and go to sleep and it's late at night. But you might wonder, where's the door? Where's the door? Oh, wait, right there. You've got separate access out to the hallway here, and you also have a whole separate laundry room in here, again, with black and gold marble.
Okay, so pretty similar to like what we've discussed before. It's a lot of describing things, black and gold marble, like living on a boat. I also like that he physically opens up drawers and cupboards to show that there's plenty of storage. I don't know if you've noticed as well that a lot of times all the doors are open, or I believe in this one, he opens the door. It's another great transition,
One of the final
right? Where he opens the door to you. And then you actually feel like you're walking in, which is great. And yeah, and interacting with elements of the home. So I think we're finally to the conclusion, which is great. He goes back to where we began.
So that's it. Penthouse 16 at 230 Central Park South. Now on the market for $17,950,000. This condo-like co-op could be yours. And this view too, because oh my God.
Okay, so this ending is really great because one, we go back to where we were, so we feel like we've done an entire loop of the home. I also love that he walks and then he also sits down. So it feels like we're sitting down and having a conversation about the home. And then towards the end, you know, he's talking. And then he's like, look at that view. Of course, the main thesis of what the video was about, right? And it's nice you just zoom away as he looks at the view. So before we move on to other things, do you guys have any questions? Okay, I know I'm
Well,
kind of,
Angie, I just want to say, so I guess what I'm hearing you say is, I mean, this video was fantastic, maybe a little longer than some of us want to make for certain things.
for sure.
The key is really the elements that you're talking about, right? Like using the descriptive words, having kind of a thing that we're coming back to, our point that we're trying to make, and then kind of laying out the timeline and showing the real details, right? Is that kind of what I'm hearing?
Yeah. So because there's so much extravagant stuff, it feels like, you know, oh my gosh, how can I do this? But really, in its fundamental, what he's doing is taking a thesis, so he's focusing on the view, and then he's taking elements of the home that you normally don't see and describing that, and then that's what he's describing to the viewer. And then also like physically walking through, and it feels like you're doing more of a tour. So to make it feel like you're walking in and you're actually like with that person.
Perfect. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. So then a couple tips just to make videos like that. Use a tripod for sure. He used a tripod probably for most of that stuff. With that video, he did have a professional cameraman with him filming him, and that's why you got all those cool zoom in and out shots. But we don't always have to do that. Photos work great. You taking your camera. I have some other videos to show you as well, where those work just as well. So of course, this is a very high-end home, so these high-end perks make sense. But I'll show you some lower-end homes and kind of see what other people have done as well. And then the transitions is one thing I want you to see quite a bit. So he's walking from room to room, he's opening doors, he's sitting down, he's standing up, because when you're filming a house, it's pretty static. There's not much going on. So having, like I showed you with the fireplaces and faucets and ceiling fans, having that stuff moving, and then you also moving within the video gets it a little bit more exciting. And those are super simple things you can do. Just, you can set up your shot and sit down in the beginning and stand up in the end. And so there's fairly easy ways where you can add a little bit more motion to each video. And then close-up shots, again, like you can see, like they did a zoom in to like the high-end appliances. It could just be a close-up shot of the high-end appliances. Full space shot so you can kind of see the layout of things. And then nearby spaces, again, the park, local shops, intersections nearby. Those will all help you create videos that are, feel like they're a little bit more put together than others. So I have a few more videos, and these are more focusing on the introductions. So I did quite a bit of research on virtual tours and walkthroughs, and there a lot of the actual video content of the tours of the home itself are pretty much the same. So it's a lot of the same kind of like slowly zooming in video, zooming in, zooming out, panning through the room. So those are all pretty standard. What makes things unique and what makes things different is how people introduce themselves and introduce the home. So depending on certain areas, they've got, good history. Some tell the story of, their clients. So I have a handful of those that I will show you, and kind of, we can talk about each one and kind of what you see off of each one.
I'd like to welcome you to 1654 Northwest Field Street. This is a phenomenal, almost 1,900 square foot contemporary home that was built in 2019 here in one of the finest locations in Northwest Crossing. Wow, so when I first entered this home, I'm just immediately greeted by how light and bright it is. Not only do we have these skylights here in the great room, we even have one in one of the front bathrooms and these transom windows. You're just greeted by a lot of natural and abundant light. Here on the front porch, we look out towards the west. Great place for sunsets, and this home is located high above the street for a little bit of that loft privacy feel. So here in the front of the home, we feature 2 full bedrooms, bathroom, a nice sliding door to separate that space, and this incredible kitchen and dining area. So the kitchen really serves as the hub, and here the kitchen connects so nicely to this nook area, plenty of room for dining with a big wall of windows. And here we have this oversized center kitchen island, seating for 3 solid quartz countertops, and even this really incredible JennAir appliance package. So the rear of this home is really about the master bedroom. So on the way over, you feature another door to a private patio and fenced yard area. In this incredible master suite, you have 3 windows here on the bedroom, which leads you into this very spa-like and contemporary master bathroom that features a 0 threshold entry walk-in shower and a fully built-out walk-in closet. So this home is a sum of its parts. Not only do you have this beautiful, contemporary, and light-filled home, but here we are in one of my favorite spots in West Bend. This is one that you should come discover for yourself.
Okay, so that one's quite a bit shorter than the other ones. Oops, sorry. Then the one that we kind of dissected last. But I feel like this is a really good, short, concise, but he still does a lot of the same things that the longer video did. He took a thesis, so his big takeaway from this home is that, you know, it's a fairly new construction and it's light and bright. You know, there's lots of light in this home. And he mentions it, I think, about 3 times throughout the video. Definitely in the beginning. It's really rememberable in the beginning when he opens the door. Right, let's see if I can find it. Right here, when he opens the door and he says it's all light and bright filled. That's a fantastic entrance. Because then you feel like you're walking into the room. He's walking in, and it's like you're just walking in. And you can feel like you can get an idea of the whole space too. So what else did you guys see about this video that you liked?
I thought it was interesting he wasn't in it as much, and he kind of slowly moved around. So if you're doing this by yourself, you could have the tripod for the beginning part, like you mentioned, and then, you know, slowly voice over and kind of walk through the space and show it.
Yeah, so that's a great point. So he didn't show his face very much. It was really mostly in the beginning and the end, and just a little bit in between. So, you know, you'll also think as well when you're doing the script of like what you want to have over, and that's where all of the footage you see that's over him speaking, but you don't actually see him. That's when all that B-roll footage comes into play. And it's the little details that you can zoom into, and the little features there. I also really like that he mentioned things that you wouldn't know, again, that you wouldn't know just looking at the video or looking at photos. Again, western facing view, so you can get sunsets. It's in a loft style lot, so you're a little bit higher up than others. The little things like that, you know, make the home a little bit more unique than others. Anybody else see anything?
I was thinking that one's a little interesting because normally having a video and everything, so having stage or a virtual stage or something, so it's more visualized, but it doesn't have anything. So like, interesting.
Yeah, but it's not bad, correct? Like you get to
Right.
see the space, and it doesn't feel like it's fake or it's very flat face. It is what it is, right? But you can see the floors that way, you know, when it's less staged and stuff like that too. So there's little features you can see when it's on stage too. But yeah, no, that's a very great point too. And then let's see this next one.
I'm just curious about the price though. It doesn't say about the price.
Yeah, and you know, maybe they did that on purpose, so they could use it as a you know, a marketing tool beyond, you know, just the beginning when the first listing launched. Who knows? Maybe they've been working on with them as a new construction for a while. So the prices that have changed, or they have multiples. Like this one that we're about to watch is a new construction, so maybe they have multiple prices, so they don't want to say what the price is. But also remember, like, this is for marketing purposes, and for marketing, what you want to do is get from 0 to 1, and really it's you want to get them to contact you, right? So you want to get them to not know anything about you, to be interested, to be like, hey, either I like you or I like this property, let's talk. And then from there you can you know, then you can talk to them about like the price and what they're specifically looking at, and then really kind of dial down the sales process wise to them specifically of what they're doing. So then you can be like, yes, you know, they love this video. I didn't show the price, but they loved the video. They loved, you know, me, right, from my talking and how I was explaining the home. So they reached out to me anyway. Maybe this isn't the right home. Maybe they, you know, they're not going to be ready for 8 months. But it got them interested. So it would be, you know, kind of a success in my world because you got a new lead from it. So then this one's a new construction, and I really, really like her intro. And she's just standing outside of the apartment complex the whole time. And you can also see this little fuzzy thing right here is a little microphone. So she's mic'd up.
Welcome to the new community of Riverbend Brownstones, a truly unique collection of 14 townhomes where you can live and experience the quaint and vibrant town of New Hamburg. Tucked away on a cul-de-sac and overlooking the town's landmark Myth River, Riverbend Brownstones is perfectly situated just outside Kitchener-Waterloo, close to local shops, cafes, and all the essential amenities, while you're still close to highway access for those quick trips to the city. With a really thoughtful approach to design and craftsmanship, paying close attention to all the details that are so often overlooked in new builds today, Riverbend Brownstones defines a new standard of luxury living without the price tag. I can't wait for you to take a peek inside our model suite so that you can see firsthand how the builder has taken timeless interiors and paired that with modern features and finishes to ensure that Riverbend Brownstones is a haven for stylish and peaceful living.
Okay, and then it just does the same similar video pannings throughout the rest of the home. So what I loved about this video is that she's just outside, right? She's just outside with a microphone, be super easy for you guys to do with like a tripod. And then she's at the doorstep. So she's outside in like the driveway, and then she's also at the doorstep, and the front door is open. That little detail makes it feel very, very inviting. And there's even lights on inside, which makes a nice little detail, which makes it feel very, very welcoming. And then, of course, you know, so it's a new construction. There's not tons of stuff, but really what she wanted to focus on was the location, right? So then she just took screenshots of Google Maps and put them together. We can easily do that as well. So I thought that was a really creative way to, you know, and expensive way to show what she's talking about, and adding to the video. Does anybody else see anything?
The pace was a lot faster on that one than some of the other ones.
Agreed, yes. So she definitely talked a lot faster. I think her cuts went through a lot faster, but it still worked, right? So I know I've been emphasizing on being slow just because it's really easy to slow. But you know, you again, you got to find your pace that works with you.
Hi, Ellen. How are you? Good.
And then I also love at the very end here. So instead of, you know, telling me to call her or text her, she just uses it as a little graphic. It's subtle, but it's there. And then of course there's always, you know, in the video, the body of the content where you could add more contact information. But I think that's a nice little touch to not be super intrusive, but still have, you know, a call to action. Oh, here we go.
It's really interesting to watch Toronto's true loft conversion market mature. Most of the conversions were done in the late 90s, early 2000s, and There hasn't been one in a while because there's no buildings left. Now, what I like the most about it is instead of seeing that usual builder finish, you're now starting to see the personalities of the individuals that have owned the lofts since they were first done. However, not all renovations are created equal. Now, to do a renovation on a brick and beam conversion can be a bit of a challenge. A lot of the times, the owner just misses the mark because you're blending the old with the new. This is not one of those cases. He has absolutely hit a home run in every aspect. I can't wait to show you this loft. My name is Jonathan Ferrier from myarea.ca. We're at 426 Queen Street East in Corktown, and words cannot explain how nice of a renovation and an interesting space this is. We'll see you soon. Built sometime around 1914 and formerly the home of Century Knitting, the boutique knitting mill lofts were converted by Pau Dahas in the late 90s, featuring just 28 individual loft spaces. The large chef's kitchen is sublime in its simplicity. This renovation blends seamlessly with its organic brick and beam surroundings.
Okay, we don't need to see the rest of that. It's pretty much just the same tour. But I personally love his introduction. Again, setup-wise, filming, very, very easy. He's just inside the kitchen of the apartment. He's got a tripod. He's just got all the lights on, and he's speaking to his camera. That's it. But I love that he is, you know, it really brings authority to himself as a real estate agent, because he's talking about the area. He's talking about, you know, the history of this particular kind of properties, and you know, the histories of it and what makes them different and what's been going on. So you really feel like he knows his stuff. And then similarly, and then he introduces himself, and then kind of goes back into the regular thing. Again, he also goes into the history of the building, which, you know, can be really nice too. And then also, I'm just, as you're seeing here, just notice how all of the lights are on. It makes everything look really bright and light. And I can tell from this, here, let me just play it here, that most of these, this right here could be done through a photo. This is most likely a photo. That's most likely a photo. That could be a photo too. And you see how that light's on in the background in that little study. So, you know, we can use a lot of the resources that we have, is just what I'm trying to say. So we can work with what you got, but just kind of keep an eye on, you know, how they're painting through things. So that's a video shot. Did anybody else see anything?
Angie, I have a question.
Yes.
So you just mentioned, and maybe I missed this earlier, that you said that was a picture. So you can show some movement from a picture?
Yes, if you have the high resolution images, we can zoom in on it and make it look like it's zooming out. If you zoom in really close, we can make it look like it pans. So we do have some flexibility with high resolution photos. It's not exactly the same, but it still does the job without paying for a videographer to come in and go through the place.
Okay. So like the pictures that our photographer take, those could be used. Okay.
Yep. And we can just kind of move them over. There's I'm blanking on his name. A documentary filmmaker that's really known for doing all of these pans and like fading in and fading out. Tim Burns, I think. But we can do that kind of style stuff with photos.
Cool. Thanks.
You're welcome.
I think even you making the little like open house videos is small things. So once you're using the photos, it's kind of like a fence, like a left and right, I think.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so this one I love. This one's just an introduction. And this one, she's talking about the client's story and why they're selling, which I think is a really nice approach as well.
No two homes are the same, just like no two client stories are alike. And today I want to share with you the story of our newest listing located in the heart of Danforth Village. When our clients first purchased this renovated 3-bedroom townhouse almost 4 years ago, they were new to the city and recently married. They absolutely love this home. It's been renovated from top to bottom, but with 2 little ones, it's now time to move on to something bigger. I'm Corey Harding Keys with Northport Real Estate, and today we're showcasing 27 Luttrell Avenue that's turnkey and ready for you to create your next story.
Okay, and then it goes on to the regular tour of the home. But what did you guys think about that introduction?
Good. Made it more
I
clear.
think she cut out a few buyers.
You think so?
Yeah, she said you know if you have 2 kids, don't buy this place. But I thought the pictures were nice. And then I think you kind of get into trouble with the family idea. And I know this isn't on the MLS, but like this family type of thing. I think you're telling somebody you're limiting that. I think there's a different approach to take, but I think that the pictures were nice. So.
Okay.
I totally see what Cindy's saying. I would say that the part that attracted me to what she was saying is kind of something we've all talked about, which is telling the story. And kind of, I don't know who else, but who's asked their sellers, what do you love about this house, or what, attracted to this house, or what, and maybe tying in those types of things to why they bought it. And kind of telling the story from the perspective of the person that's living there. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, that would be good. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so maybe taking out some of those more specific details about the client in general. Maybe revising from what you said. They're a newlywed couple. They recently moved here to the city, love the place, renovated it from head to toe. And now they've just looking for a bigger space, right? Maybe not even mentioning children.
Exactly. As let's just say you've got a divorced single parent with 2 kids, they might want to buy the place. And you kind of said, well, you really shouldn't.
Right. But, but then at the same time, it's like her attempt was she's trying to paint the picture that it's a great, kind of starter home.
No, I get that.
Right. And like they kind of outgrew this home. So it's ready for somebody else to, quote unquote, have their starter home with. But no, very good. Thoughts on that? Anybody?
But I liked how the photography zoomed in on it, and you kind of felt like you were walking through it. So that was nice.
Can you hear me now, Sandra?
Yes.
I can hear you.
Can you hear me? What about the fair housing laws?
That's what
I think that so violates everything.
Me too.
That's why I mentioned that maybe you don't want to say the kids and the family and that kind of portion of it, but maybe taking a different point of view of the story of the house or what attracted someone to it, whether it be the neighborhood or a feature or the turnkey-ness of it. There's other parts of her little intro that I think do not violate it that you could really communicate to. And use as kind of the story of the house, maybe more so than the type of person that should be buying it or who they are that bought it.
Yeah. And I think this is up in Canada as well. I see they've got it coming soon right here. So clearly they've got different regulations than we do. So, but still telling the story, because every home has a story, every home has a little bit of history. So if you could get some of that stuff out of your client, that could be really helpful into making this home a little bit more unique than others, right?
Yeah, I think the main thing would be just to promote what they love about it.
Yes, yeah.
And you don't have to say that why they're leaving, where they're going, or that they're married at all.
Mm-hmm.
So but there you go. I think promote the property rather than the story, but
No two homes are the same.
Sorry about that. Okay, and then this is another quick and short one, which I think she does a really great job on.
We're sitting here today at 11 North Vine. This is an incredible neighborhood and an incredible vintage house. And when I say vintage, it's all the good things about vintage. It's got so much charm and character, but it's got that huge family room you're looking for, beautiful kitchen, 4 bedrooms, 2 baths, a finished basement, and an incredible backyard. But come check it out for yourself.
Okay, and again, she does a nice little door opening before it goes into the tour, but yeah, super short and sweet. I think her little speech is less than 24 seconds. What did you guys think?
Fast.
yeah.
But it was fine. It was, she had clarity. So so that being fast, you still could understand what you're saying. It wasn't like she was gliding over a lot of stuff. It was good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so and it shows that she's probably a fast talker in general. But and you know, we try and say about talking slow, but you know, again, done is better than perfect. If it's fast, but you know, you can still understand it, it's the best take you've got, run with it. And it'll you know, it will do the job. Okay, and I believe this is second to last one. So this is a nice little intro. So this one is a foreclosure, bank-owned property. So definitely not at all like the $18 million property we started off with. But just to see a perspective of how she's doing and how she's doing a tour of, you know, a less than perfect home.
Hey, Fort McMurray, Melanie Daly with Remax Fort McMurray. I'm going to take you on a tour of this house. It's a bank-owned property that definitely needs some work. So let's go have a look. Okay, so here we go. 231 Barron's Place, double-car garage. The garage floor is actually in really good shape. Currently, there's 2 bedrooms in the house. Let's just run and check it out.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah,
See, I think I threw up in my mouth.
Yikes. Somebody level.
Oh, they stole some wiring, looks like, maybe.
Yeah.
It's going to be on Saturday Night Live pretty soon. I don't know what they're going to say, but something.
Yeah.
Just no. Don't do this.
Don't use that color.
Okay, so there's lots of potential with this house. So have a look, even though,
You
look
should
at
get the plumbing reinstalled.
brothers. What could you do? What can you do? The house is almost 3,000 square feet in total.
Ooh, ouch.
I would be replacing these windows, they're original. And I don't think there's any life left in those babies. So right now, the way that they have this, like this, it's not even working, it's all broken.
Oh, gee, you think?
But they've got this vent right here. I don't even know if that would be the code now. But there's lots of potential. This kitchen is. Oh, there's so much that you could do with this place. So much.
Yeah, like burn it.
Okay. So, yeah, this maybe needs a little bit of work.
That one needs a little bit of work.
But you know, I think she does a good she does a good job of introducing herself and then just telling it and showing it like it is. I really like that she mentions positives about the home. You know, try and put your property brother's hat on and kind of envision it. It's a really big kitchen. It's got lots of lights, but then she also, you know, gives her 2 cents on what she would do to improve the home. So things that she would look at for inspections and stuff like that. So like I would definitely replace these windows. I think she said that a couple times throughout the whole video. And there's like other little things here and here. I'm not sure if this is up to code, but what it does for somebody who's actually really interested, right, in some sort of flipping property, this is what I have to work with, and are these like cost-worthy fixes that I, that are worthwhile for me. So it's just showing it like it is, telling it like it is, and keeping things at face value. What else did you guys see?
I think we saw what not to do in her case, as far as, entering and then we need to work on our video skills, in my opinion. When you're focusing on the flooring, walking up, there's other things that you could work on. I don't want to see those steps going in. And when she was talking about the garage is in good shape, it looked like a crack with some drainage to me. And so there's just a difference of the way I'm looking at it through her eyes. But I think it's a good idea to do a video on a home that needs a lot of work, and say the potential, but maybe work on the on her camera skills, while she's talking.
Yeah, but again, it's done, right? It's not the greatest. It's not super perfect.
No, it's done. You're right.
It's done, right? And then you can tell it's just her, and it's just her walking through the camera with her phone. You can tell she's, doing a, selfie, talking to the phone like that. But it's not the end of the world, and it shows that you're working in real estate. It shows that you're doing and you're active, and and of course, for, this kind of price point of home, you don't want to spend thousands upon thousands of dollars for a professional video. Clearly, this home's not worth it. So, you kind of need to gauge as well.
That will probably sell quicker than the $18 million house. So,
oh, yeah.
Oh, it certainly will.
So, it's okay.
And then also,
I would like that listing.
Yeah, quick tidbit with this foreclosure too. She filmed this like a week or two ago, so it's a very, very new video listing. So, and at the very end, she talks about how they're working with this, the social distancing and all that kind of practices. So I was like, let me know if you're interested. I'll send you the floor plans. We can do a walkthrough and keep our social distancing and all that kind of stuff. So I'll send a link to all of these videos if you want to see them in entirety, if you want to look at them over again. But I think that was the last for my video tours. So, and then I find this one realtor made about 3 years ago about Queen Anne. Again, it's not the most professional, but again, I want to emphasize that done is better than none. So let's take a look at a little bit of his neighborhood tour of Queen Anne.
Hi, how you doing? Can I have a grande? Oh, you don't do grande here, right? There you do grande. You do grande non-fat latte. Okay, awesome.
Yeah, that's how I video right there.
History in Seattle started with historic Mark Twain Hotel. I stayed here, was scoping out the city to see if this is a place where I wanted to live. What I found is a modern city that also appreciates history, that's pedestrian friendly, and that is surrounded by incredible nature. We have Queen Anne, also known as Uptown. It was the first section of Queen Anne to be developed prior to anything else. On the east side, it's abutted by the Seattle Center. And on the south side, it butts to. Let me show you around.
Okay, so you can tell that was all just him and his camera. But, you know, and then he also took some shots from Google Maps. And what I liked about it is that he brought some personal history area of, you know, gives him a little bit of authority as of why he knows that area, why he's in that area, versus other things. Whereas it's like, this is where I worked and this is where I stayed, this is where I fell in love with the area, which makes him feel like he knows more about the area than somebody who would just be recently moving in. What else did you guys get off of this?
Well, that it was, you know, walkable neighborhood, that, you know, there's nice places to go. I like that one, actually. It was a little more, you kind of felt like you were walking along with him.
Yeah, you felt like you were walking with him, definitely. And again, that kind of non-super professional feel can give you that sort of authenticity, that reality, where you feel more real, more authentic than something that's super professional and very well done, because it feels more real, right? Like there's ums and buts and, you know, things in between that don't always make sense. And, but you could also even see when he's talking, there's cuts in between. So he cut between his speech, you know. So those are simple things we can do too. And he's a little out of focus too. That's not the best. But again, done is done. Anything else, anybody?
Yeah, I miss coffee shops.
I do too. I could use a good chai latte right now. Okay, do you guys have any other questions, comments for me? Any other takeaways?
Angie, I think this was absolutely fantastic. Thank you
Yeah,
very,
very
very much.
Thanks, Angie.
And I think the overall kind of theme that we heard throughout all the videos was very similar, whether you're doing it yourself or having someone do it with you or using a professional. So thank you very, very much. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. That was awesome.
Great job, Angie. Thank you. Yeah, so and if you guys have any questions about filming something, if you need help, you know, putting together a script or even brainstorming stuff, you know, just let me know. I'm happy to help you out.
Thanks, Angie.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.